brand CMOs I speak to on a daily basis, they are trying to work out how they can do more with less because budgets are shrinking. Ninja, which is an air fryer brand, came to us because they wanted to own the space for air fryers. Both of those different things here, that's PR, that's SEO, and that's social. Most of these teams don't talk to each other. Within 1 year of doing social search, AI integration, it literally led to 152% increase in revenue for them. That added 500 grand in revenue for them.
We are in Austin, Texas. I'm with Ray Saddiq, who's the global head of marketing at Rise at 7. If you are on LinkedIn or if you're in our space, I think everybody's either seen Ray's face somewhere, either on stage, on LinkedIn. More closely, you're going to be on YouTube as well. But Ray has done 20 talks this year now. More recently, he just did Brighton SEO in San Diego, which is his first time speaking in the US. And he was honestly one of the best speakers there. And I'm not just saying that because he's a good friend of mine. The way that he's able to articulate things, the way he's actually able to use like real life stories and everything to basically prove what he's talking about, is what I think a lot of the speakers are actually missing. So Ray, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Do you want to do an introduction for yourself, or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll go and hi, I'm Ray Saddiq. So I am the global head of marketing at Rise at 7. I come from a social media and SEO background, and now I'm kind of combining both of these worlds together with everything that's happening within the industry. I've spoken across stages across the world now, and I've worked with brands in-house on both agency side, some of the biggest brands in the world as well.
Awesome. And I think the one question I really want to get started on this is if anybody missed it on LinkedIn or if anybody missed it on socials, Rise at 7 went through a massive rebrand, like a month ago. And what I'd really like to dig into is one, why did you guys do the rebrand? And two, you guys did so much marketing behind it that like I feel like there was a post every single day. You guys were teasing it for like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. I had my marketing team send it to me. We need to do this for everything. I'm like, nah, they're just extra. But yeah, take us through maybe the marketing campaign and why you guys actually did do the rebrand.
Yeah, of course. So I think one thing that's always differentiated Rise start with is we actually treat ourselves as a brand. So most agencies, they'll do the marketing for their brands and the businesses they work with, but we actually love to do that for ourselves as well. We actually like to treat ourselves as if we are our own brand, and it's helped us so much. So we do this with everything that we do. We like to build up hype. We like to build up anticipation. One, because within our space, it helps us to stand out. Now, we're very much within that blue ocean kind of thinking of just being different and doing things in a different method to a lot of our competitors. I honestly think standing out is one of the most important and crucial things that you can do as an agency. And it's what led us to do this rebrand. Our CEO and founder, Carrie, she actually got a DM on LinkedIn saying, I followed you guys for so long, but I have no idea what you do. And this is a problem that a lot of agencies face. So the main issue that often happens is you'll list your services on your website, but no one actually knows what you do or like what the outcome you produce is. And Carrie actually sat on that and went, well, actually, that's true. Like what do people actually know us for? We're famous for digital PR, but we do so much.
I'm getting out of bed at 7.
Yeah, well, yeah, other than that, yeah, please never call me at 7 because I will not be out of bed. So that was one of the main reasons why we actually decided to go down the route of doing the rebrand, was actually to tell people exactly what we do. And it's so important for an agency to be able to actually list out exactly what it is that we do. So that's what we did. We rolled out and understood exactly, okay, this is the framework that we follow. This is what we want to be known for. Let's communicate that to the industry.
Awesome. And it's something I can resonate with as well. Like, as I've talked to you before, when we used to go to events, we used to wear tops that said SEO for hire, which I thought was like, okay, people don't know what we do. But the amount of people that would come up and be like, oh, like what SEO services do you offer? Like all of this stuff. And it's like, well, we actually build SEO teams. I was like, I thought that would be clear on what it is. But I think getting your messaging right is so, so important. And what advice would you give to, let's say that maybe the smaller agencies that are listening to this, or yeah, that they're struggling with finding that rebrand, or not even the rebrand, but they're struggling with their messaging. What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that because whilst this was going on, I've had so many of my friends who work with the industry. They all have agencies of, let's say, they've got 1 to 10 employees, and they've all said the same thing. Like, how do we recreate this magic? Like, we don't have the same budget as you guys. Which, bear in mind, this rebrand in the cost things didn't actually cost us that much. But they all say to us like, how do we do this? How do we recreate this magic? And the advice I've given to everyone is what I often see with a lot of agencies, especially small agencies, is that you're not taking what you do and putting that into an outcome. So instead what you're doing is you're saying, oh, I do this, but you're not giving the outcome of what you are producing. So if you do SEO, you're just saying that you do SEO, not that you try to help brands rank at the top of Google, which is actually what you usually tell your clients. What's the outcome you produce? The best type of marketing. So a lot of businesses and brands struggle with, especially smaller agencies. So the advice that I've given to a lot of people is understand the framework that you use. So here at Write7, we use demand discovery. So we often, when clients come to us, they either have a demand problem or discovery problem. Often happens is they have a bit of both, and it's weighted more towards one of them. Then what we do is we then take that and then we go and figure out a solution for you guys. But we always had the issue of, this is how we do it. What is it we do? Well, actually, we create category leaders. That's the outcome. And that's what we propositioned our entire rebrand around. So what I say to smaller agencies is, what you should do is you should take what the outcome is that you provide and focus your entire proposition around that. Because what happens is, agencies, when they go for a rebrand, they'll focus on the colors, they'll focus on the fonts, a new website, and they'll just talk about how amazing they are. When really what you want to do is say what you do for your clients. You have all these case studies and the work you've done. Focus on that. Focus on the results that you deliver. And that's what we did at Rise as part of this proposition. So if you're a small agency, that's the route I would go down.
Awesome. And you guys work with some of the biggest brands in the world. What what do these brands actually look for in an agency partner?
So mostly credibility in terms of what you can do. So case studies are so important for this. If you can really, one, we've already got the messaging now with part of this rebrand, as I mentioned, to say this is what we do for you. The next thing they need is, can you actually do that? Show that you can do that. Now, this is harder for newer agencies, but if you've been in the game for a while, you'll have countless testimonials, case studies, examples of how you've done this. Make sure that ties into the messaging of your brand. So for us, we turn brands into category leaders. We've done this countless times. I can give you an example. Ninja, which is an air fryer brand, came to us because they wanted to own the space for air fryers. They were, if you were to ask your mum, your sister, or anyone, they would tell you, the air fryer I want is Ninja. But if you were to search on Google, ask ChatGPT, what's the best air fryer brand? Ninja never used to show up. Then we turned them into the category leader for that. And that's exactly what they came to us for. Now we can use that case study to then reiterate the messaging that we have as part of our branding.
Awesome. I love that. And I think testimonials are such an important thing. And a lot of my friends that have got businesses, they struggle with asking for testimonials because they feel like it's out of their comfort zone. But I always say, you ask for the testimonial when the client is praising you for your work. You literally say, hey, do you mind just like quickly just giving it, send in the link, whatever it is. But as well as that, one thing that I've been incorporating recently is when the client is on a high and you ask for a testimonial, also ask them, is there anybody else in your space that you think that we could benefit as well? And from that, we've signed quite a few clients just from like literally switching that at the end of a.
It's very natural as well. It just kind of flows with the conversation.
One thing that like anybody who knows me knows how much I love being in the US. It's just a completely different pathway to business. It's based on referrals, it's based on word of mouth. If you're crap at what you do, you will not get referred to anybody. If you're good at what you do, you literally have the whole US in your pocket. I'm not saying I do, by the way. But what I love is like the first time I came to Austin, I had one client. We now have like loads of clients literally in Austin just from like word of mouth. And one thing I think it'd be really cool for you to share was we were in LA last week. We're in Rodeo Drive. And yeah, tell us a story about what you guys did.
Yeah, so we were actually out, we were exploring LA, we were having a look around, we went to Rodeo Drive, did some shopping, and as we were coming out of the lift, we were all debating about the color of a Ferrari. And half of us thought, Josh was right, I'll give him that. Everyone thought it was, half of us thought it was white, half of us thought it was grey. And as we were talking about that, there was another guy in the lift who actually just joined into the conversation with us. And we ended up just talking, and he asked us why we were there. And we said, we're here for a marketing conference. He goes, oh, I work in marketing actually. And instantly, my networking brain just turned on to go, oh, wait, hold on. So what do you do? Who do you work for? Like this kind of thing. Just went into a natural kind of conversation, connected with him on LinkedIn, had a brief kind of chat there. But then afterwards, he saw my content, which I think played a massive part in this because he saw the kind of stuff we were sharing about what we were doing at Rise and the stuff that we're building. Dropped me a DM instantly afterwards going, oh, do you actually offer this as a service? And he's literally having a call right now with one of the people from our team.
And they're a big brand.
Yeah, massive brand. So just shows the opportunity that's there within the US. And it's actually something that I've said quite often to the team back in the UK is there's a huge difference that I've found. Here, it's so relationship focused. When you're going out to meet brands and clients, they love you to be in person. They actually want you to be in person. Whereas in the UK, I feel like people aren't as conversational. They're not as up for meeting you. I feel like it almost feels like people are more restricted by time. Whereas here, everyone's like, oh yeah, do you want to grab coffee? Do you want to grab lunch? Do you want to grab dinner? even if you run into someone like we just did there, they want to have a conversation, they want to chat. No one's closed off for that, which is why I suppose it's a land of opportunity.
What I think is really interesting is one of our clients, James Reynolds, he owns SEO Sherpa based out in Dubai. He is currently in the US for 6 weeks, and we met him in San Diego. We spent a few days with him, and he had just gone to the Alex Ramosi headquarters, the events, all of this stuff. Um, and he's staying in the US for 6 weeks to try and build that US arm. And the one thing he said that he's learned is that in the US, it's all built on relationships. All business is based on relationships. So if you can get boots on the ground and you can, yeah, speak to clients, speak to candidates, speak to people in your industry as well, just to know what's going on as well. I think it's
I think
really
we spoke
important.
about it the other day, right? Where that person was saying that they feel the reason why that is because of scam culture, and they want to meet someone in real life and have that personal relation. I don't know if it's fully because of that, but it feels like one, just connecting with people online here just feels very difficult to get a conversation through. I don't know if that's because there's higher cold outreach out here or a lot more people going into their DMs or emails, but in general, it feels like once you sat down and spoke to someone, they you actually build more of a connection with them. Whereas in the UK, I feel like I can have a message over DM, email, Zoom call, and you can go through that entire flow. Whereas here, I'm like coffee, chat, then go on to online conversation.
We both take LinkedIn pretty seriously. For ages, I've been going on about it to my whole team, everything. You have grown a lot on LinkedIn recently, but it's all well and good to grow on LinkedIn, but you actually do get the results. You've showed me the DMs of brands coming in and wanting to work with you guys and stuff. So, first of all, what do you think the key is to creating inbound interest on LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn's a great platform. And Joe, I saw this meme the other day that said that I promise you now that my plan from God does not include LinkedIn. And I'm here to tell you mine does, because LinkedIn is such a powerful tool when it comes to just audience engagement, the people that are on there, the type of people that you want to attract. I just can't believe that the amount of reach that it gives you is free to your targeted ICP as well. Like, no wonder a lot of people tell me that work on the paid side. I'm an organic marketer, so I don't really know this myself, but they say that it's quite expensive to advertise there. The organic reach is insane. Like, you can get so much there. But yeah, so it's a really good tool. And what a lot of people do is they go down the route of just going top of funnel content, which I think works really well. And I think that you can drive a lot of awareness and it helps you to one, build engagement with your audience. But there's the strategy that I follow is a bit of a combination. So I use a lot of top funnel content to talk about my personal experiences, my life. I share quite a lot on there, which is helps me stand out because a lot of times people just speak about business stuff. But you do need to target your ICP as well, whoever you're trying to speak to. And in order to do that, the best way to do that is by using case studies. And but not just saying, oh, this is what we did for a brand, talking through exactly how you did that and breaking down this is how you can do that for the brands that you want to target. And it has to be a combination of different forms of content. So inbound wise, a lot of brands will be, or the people you want to target will be looking at your LinkedIn, you'll be coming up on their feed. You want to hit them on different formats of content. So share blog posts, share articles, share images, share videos. A lot of people just stick to written word, which is great and it's a great way to get started, but you need to have different formats of content so that you get one, you just get associated to in so many different formats. People need to build a relationship with you online. And then yeah, secondly, like you just it gives you a variety of stuff. You can repost it, reuse it on different platforms. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. And one thing that I'm finding that LinkedIn is pushing for me anyway is, let's say I've got a story that I want to tell about maybe a client or whatever. I'll screenshot the email or I'll screenshot something like a real conversation, blur out the actual personal bits of it, and then tell the story on the back of it. And those ones are like popping off for me. Like I'm still getting notifications from like ones that posted like 2, 3 weeks ago.
I
That
think
are
it's like what you said a second ago, about like the whole relationship building thing. I think that's it's just taking that but putting it online because people actually know you're a real human. There's so many people on LinkedIn that just talk like because how much of it is automated now? How much content do you see that's just yeah, everyone can see. Like by the way, everyone knows when you're using AI to write your content. So don't do it in a way that you can use AI but produce other formats of content that make you look like a real person.
And the thing is as well, like in terms of the AI stuff, right? Everybody also uses AI for ideas,
Mhm.
right? Build your own content ideation folder, right? Which just means that you're never going like bare for ideas, but you're also getting steered in the right way because a lot of people can think, oh, this is going to be a nice LinkedIn post, but it doesn't match anything that your ICP cares about, and you're literally just doing it for a post. Don't do that. And the other thing that is crazy about LinkedIn is the amount of people that have never posted in their life. You've never seen their name, and then they come up with these massive, like unbelievable posts, but like you can tell that it's AI. It's like, guys, like be real. Do you know who does a great job of it? Is Joe Hale. His LinkedIn is fantastic. And he always talks about how much he cringes at his own posts, but it's brought in. He's was it Verd Digital is his company? He's brought in a load of brands naturally through LinkedIn and through that. But like he'll do like a roundup post at the end of every month. He'll do this, he'll like post his like photos doing football or whatever. But it's like you know that it's actually him posting it. You know that it's a personal brand that he's actually trying to build. And he's not literally just doing it as like a sign postage to get clients. And it's the same with you. You're posting about being in New York, being in LA, wherever it is, but you're actually putting real life stories to the post to like strengthen it. I think that's what a lot of people miss.
And I think it's having that one consistent message. So for me, it's I want to be known within the marketing space. Right? I want to be a marketing leader because I know I've been one of the first people to lead within the social search space. I want to be known for organic media planning. I want to go and push that out there. But however, I could go and do loads of posts around that and tell you exactly how to do that. But there'll be hundreds of people that will just go and do that. The way that you stand out is by navigating that story, by creating a narrative of one, your life, marketing, your job, everything that goes into that. So that's how I integrate. I travel, I work from here, I speak on stage, but that all links back to that one message. And then I end it with, actually, this is how you could do it as a brand, or this is how it could help you. And then what ends up happening is it's people feel like there's this whole phenomenon. It's influencers get it a lot, and I'm not saying I'm an influencer, but what I am saying is that people get into the point where they see your life so much online, they feel like they can communicate. It's like you're welcoming them in to actually message you instead of having to cold outreach to them. And I think it's so powerful because then what happens is someone who's an ICP of mine who we want to target will, instead of me having to reach out to them, they'll message me going, "Oh, I saw you were in Austin. You were at Terry Black's. Isn't it so great?" And that's literally the message I got last night from posting about being in Austin. And they go, "Oh, actually, I need some help with my social search stuff." And then you can go down that route of like, "Okay, yeah, this is how I can help you." And they'll be like, "Oh, I saw your guide about it a few weeks ago. How come? How?" And then I'm like, "Okay, let me pass you through to our team." It's just more natural. They feel like they know you, and
Do you know what I love about that is one thing that I talk about with my team is that every time I go to different events, especially over in the US, I'll have our clients or prospects come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, you were recently in wherever it was traveling." Or I travel like quite a lot of places. They're like, "Oh, you're in this place. You're in this place." It's never, Josh, your take on how SEO hiring is
yeah,
broken is
yeah, literally, yeah.
fantastic, right? But because you're like adding the personal story to it, they know what I do, right? Like I've got the storefront, they know what I do. So it's like if you can go in again, it comes back to being personal and like standing out and just literally having a personality, like be a bit different, be a bit, yeah. I mean, we could go down a whole rabbit hole on
Don't
that.
be a robot.
Yeah, don't be a robot. Um, okay, cool. My next question for you, Ray, is how has the way that brands buy marketing services changed over the last few years?
This is a great question because you remember that that event we went to a few weeks ago, the one where you were moderating the panel. Yeah. So it was interesting. There was loads of big brands on there, and they got asked that exact question from a brand perspective. And I actually took notes while we were listening to that. I took it back to the team, and we were kind of speaking about the type of questions we get from brands. I was thinking about a lot of my friends who also work brand side, understanding what their problems are they're facing right now. And I think the issue is right now is one of the main differences happened is for bigger brands, buying cycles can actually be shorter if you can tell them exactly what they need. Because right now, brands are confused about what they need. A lot of times, we've seen that brands are coming and saying, "Oh, how can you actually help us? We don't actually know what's going on with this AI thing. We understand that you offer these services, but how does that actually work?" And I think that comes down to education. Because if you remember from that panel, every single one of those in-house marketing directors, head of SEO, whatever their job title was, they all were like, "We need an agency that doesn't just come in and executes for us. What we need is an agency that comes in and educates us, actually tells us this is what's going on. This is the proof that it's going on. This is how you can adapt to it. And this is how we've previously done it, one in your space or within spaces similar to yours." I think education is the key thing. I think before it was like brands would be like, "Oh, we just need someone to go and produce TikTok content for us, or we need someone to go and produce a load of blog content that helps us get ranking, or we need loads more links." Especially within the SEO space, it was often, "Can you go and get us more links?" Or, "Can you go and build us out some more topic clusters?" Or, "Can you go and do this from a technical, go do a technical audit for us? That's all we need." But now it's like, "Oh, okay, actually, no. Can you teach us how this works and then tell us what we need?" So I think it's so much more important now. The difference is to go and really educate them, and you can do that via content, which is why I think that right now producing content as an agency, if you know what's happening, you understand how this works, you've got case studies to back it up, produce that content, go and talk about it online because brands want to know that right now.
I love that. And so, Ray, you've been all over the world on these stages. You were with me in London. There was a lot of big brands there. What's the number one question that brands keep on asking?
How do we integrate? I think the main problem that CMOs are facing, and this is not just when I'm speaking to people in person, this is actual brand CMOs that I'm speaking to on a daily basis. They are trying to work out how they can do more with less because budgets are shrinking. The main thing they want to know is how do we integrate the teams we already have and use everything that we already have to actually do more for us. It's the main problem that a lot of brands are facing because one, there's a high reliance on paid media right now, and it's getting more competitive on that side of things. People know that organic is the answer, and I'm telling them that organic is the answer because we have proof and case studies of this. They just want to know how they can do that. And what I'm telling them is you need to integrate your teams, your organic teams closer together. So if you've got a social team and you've got an SEO team and they've been completely siloed and separate, you need to get them to be having more closer conversations. They need to be working together because that's where the future is going. So I actually, in my talk in San Diego, I highlighted two studies. So one from Ahrefs and then one from Surfer. Both of them were talking about AI overviews and different LLMs and the top cited sources from each of those. So one of the studies said that it was branded mentions. So everything from PR. PR was basically the answer from that study. The other study was saying that the top cited domains were things like LinkedIn, Reddit, Quora, even Instagram was featured on that. Instagram's only been indexed in Google for the last couple of months. It's crazy that it's being used as a source like that. What I found really cool about that is both of those different things here. That's PR, that's SEO, and that's social. Most of these teams don't talk to each other. AI, if that's the future, if we are seeing conversational search go down that way, if every single one of those domains and every single one of those touch points, users go into them anyway without AI, why are we not getting our teams to talk to each other so they can go and build a holistic consumer journey from start to finish, all the way from awareness through to retention across all these organic channels? Because right now, your PR team's doing one campaign, your SEO team is doing a separate campaign, and your social team is doing a completely different campaign. Integrate them and make that message more integrated, more together. Make your teams work together so you can push that out further. You can answer so much more with search data at the heart of that, but a lot of people are kind of separate with that. But when CMOs hear that and they look at the data and they go, actually, yeah, this could be the answer. And then they go and test it. We've seen it with our own clients. We've got a client where we literally, within 1 year of doing social search, AI integration, PR, doing all these things together in an integrated campaign, it literally led to a 152% increase in revenue for them. That added 500 grand in revenue for them just off the back of organic social search and AI integration. It's incredible how powerful this can be, but people don't see it yet because these channels have been siloed for so long.
I love that. And what I love about that is that one of the first ever SEO talks I went to way back 4 or 5 years ago was literally about that. That there was like the one that I really resonated was the importance of cross silos and getting teams actually functioning together. Okay, so Ray, my next question for you is where do you see the biggest opportunities for agencies in the next few years?
So it's interesting you asked that because I'm actually in a lot of group chats with a lot of agency owners who have search agencies, SEO agencies, and they're really anxious. They're scared about where the future of search is going. They don't really know. They're thinking, should we sell our agency? Should we be doing this? And I actually think that this is not a time to be anxious because I think that search sits at the heart of marketing. I think it's going to continue to sit at the heart of marketing. Okay, let's take it for example. What's the last thing you went and bought?
My iPad Pro, that she bought it yesterday.
Yeah, and when you went to buy that, I remember you were looking at things in the Airbnb, right? You were thinking of why I wanted it. What was your search journey like? What did you look
I
for?
was looking at the price saving I would get it in the US, because it's silly expensive in the UK, Europe completely differently. I looked up on ways would it work for podcast notes because I have my big podcast with Ray Saddiq I wanted to prep for. But yeah, no, everything was around that.
And you looked across. Well, you were asking ChatGPT. You were looking at Google. You were looking at
I was
YouTube.
asking ChatGPT, is the M3 chip better than the M4? I was looking at prices all on Google. I was looking on YouTube. I was actually looking at reviews.
That's your entire search journey, right? You searched at different points across that. Now, usually what a marketer would do, and I've done this because I've been in the role myself, a lot of my friends have done this. For years, this is how we've kind of looked at it, is we looked at publicly available information, GWI data, we looked at surveys, we looked at social listening tools. Now, as much as social listening tools, I think they're great, and I think they play a part within that consumer research journey. I actually think they're pretty useless as well in terms of the type of content you should be producing. Because if I went on your Instagram, I would have seen pictures of you in LA, I would have seen pictures of you in a Range Rover, and I would have thought to myself, does he need an iPad? I don't know if he needs an iPad. But if I looked at your search data, I would have known based on all the other people who are searching right now, there's so much demand for you looking at the price comparison, looking at if it would work for podcast notes, all these specific types of things. And as search marketers, We have access to that information. Previously, that was only relevant to Google. All of a sudden, we're relevant across every searchable platform. So I think we're going to play a pivotal role in marketing moving forward. The data that we understand and we know how to map out across consumer journey, which we've done for years with blog content, we now can go and do that across every platform. With conversational search being part of that, AI and LLMs, they're being fed information, not just from what's on Google, not just on blog, from PR, from social channels. We can go and optimize for that. So not only are we helping consumers find what they're looking for, we're helping AI find what we're looking for. So I think that moving forward, as an agency, I would focus on integration. How can I integrate within all these different channels? How can I take what is working for search for one channel for Google? How can I go and push that across all these different channels? How can I make myself more in demand for brands and consumers, what they're looking for?
Awesome. I love that. My closing question for you, Ray, is right. We've been around a lot of agency owners over the last few weeks over here in the US. We've been to these events. We've hung out with a lot of agency owners. A lot of them aren't, well, it depends. I feel like the really good ones are really, really excited for the future. And I feel like we both share the same excitement for the future of where agency world's going, where search is going, where everything's going. But there's still a lot of doom and gloom, and there's a lot of people that are scared, and there's a lot of people anxious. What do you say to them people?
I think stop being anxious, stop being scared. We are at a pivotal moment right now. Search has changed massively. Marketing in general is changing. The consumer shift is huge. It's not just that there's a platform and algorithm shift. Everyone talks about how the fact that the algorithms change all the time. We have this saying at Rise where we say we chase consumers, not algorithms, because the algorithms just follow what people want. At the end of the day, that's what people are looking for. Look at what the consumers are doing. They are so focused on searching on different platforms. Their conversational search plays such a big part. It's a pivotal moment. Don't be scared. Be ready to embrace it. Be excited. There's some big opportunities on their way right now.
Awesome. And what's new for you? Everybody wants to follow along. What's the future hold for Ray?
So I'm just about to start documenting my marketing journey. Of course, I've done some cool stuff over the past year that I haven't actually really spoke about online yet, but I'm going to start producing my own YouTube series. I'm going to start talking a lot more about what's going on in the industry, especially with all these changes going on right now. I'm quite lucky to be at the forefront of brands that are doing this for the first time, of case studies and examples of how this is being done. So I want to go and share that to the marketing world.
Awesome. And where can those people follow you along?
So check me out on LinkedIn, Ray Saddiq, or on Instagram at Ray Saddiq1, and my YouTube as well, Ray Saddiq.
Awesome. Everything will be in the show notes below. Thanks, Ray.